The rain fell hard on New Bizan colony as Sergeant Hyan-Woo Park stood in Commander Tae-Sung Choi's office. 3 months had passed since the Galactic War ended, but Hyan-Woo still felt like he was fighting. Every night brought the same nightmares. Every morning brought the same empty feeling. "You're being reassigned," Commander Tae-Sung said, sliding a datapad across his desk. Hyan-Woo picked it up and read the file. His jaw tightened. "Protection detail?" "Sir, I'm a combat soldier, not a babysitter." "You were a combat soldier," Tae-Sung corrected him. "The war is over, Park. We need different skills now." The file showed a picture of a young alien girl. She had pale blue skin and large dark eyes that seemed too old for her face. Her name was Lyria. She was Valkyrie, one of the telepathic species that stayed neutral during the war. "Her entire family was killed 2 weeks ago," Tae-Sung explained. "Extremist forces want her dead. She has strong telepathic abilities. In the wrong hands, she could be used as a weapon." Hyan-Woo stared at the photo. The girl looked terrified. Something about her expression reminded him of the civilians he couldn't save during the siege of Arcturus Station. "Why me?" he asked quietly. "Because you're the best soldier I have," Tae-Sung said. "And because you need this, whether you admit it or not." Hyan-Woo wanted to argue, but he knew his commander was right. The war might be over, but Hyan-Woo was still lost in it. Maybe protecting one life could make up for all the lives he couldn't save. "When do I start?" he asked. "Now." "She's waiting in the transport bay." The transport bay was cold and loud with the sound of ships coming and going. Hyan-Woo found the girl sitting on a cargo crate, wrapped in a blanket that was too big for her. 2 soldiers stood guard nearby, looking uncomfortable. When Hyan-Woo approached, Lyria looked up at him. Her eyes were completely black, no whites at all. She studied him for a long moment, then looked away without saying anything. "I'm Sergeant Park," Hyan-Woo said, keeping his voice gentle. "I'll be keeping you safe from now on." The girl said nothing. She just pulled the blanket tighter around herself. One of the guards, a young corporal, stepped forward. "Sir, she hasn't spoken since we picked her up." "Won't eat much either." "We tried to..." "Dismissed," Hyan-Woo interrupted. "I'll take it from here." The guards looked relieved to leave. Hyan-Woo understood. Most soldiers didn't know how to handle traumatized civilians, especially alien ones. He sat down on a crate across from Lyria, giving her space. "We're going to a safe house on the edge of the colony. It's quiet there, secure. Nobody will hurt you." Still nothing. But he saw her hand shaking slightly under the blanket. "You don't have to talk," Hyan-Woo continued. "But I need you to follow my instructions when it comes to safety. If I tell you to hide, you hide. If I tell you to run, you run. Understood?" Lyria gave the smallest nod. "Good enough," Hyan-Woo said, standing up. "Let's go." The safe house was a reinforced building on the outer edge of New Bizan. It had thick walls, security cameras, and only 2 entrances. Hyan-Woo checked every room twice before letting Lyria inside. "Your room is upstairs," he told her, pointing to the 2nd floor. "The bathroom is next to it. Kitchen is down here. Don't go near the windows." Lyria climbed the stairs slowly, still wrapped in her blanket. She moved like someone expecting to be hurt at any moment. After she went to her room, Hyan-Woo set up his equipment. Motion sensors around the perimeter. Weapons within easy reach. Communication devices on all frequencies. He worked automatically, his mind focused on the mission. Hours later, he made simple food and brought it upstairs. He knocked on her door. "Leaving food outside," he called. "You should eat." No response. But when he checked an hour later, the plate was empty. That night, Hyan-Woo sat in the main room, cleaning his rifle. The familiar action usually calmed him, but tonight felt different. He kept thinking about those frightened eyes. Around midnight, he heard a sound upstairs. A cry of fear. Hyan-woo grabbed his pistol and moved quickly but quietly up the stairs. He pressed against the wall outside Lyria's room, listening, whimpering, the sound of crying, a nightmare. He lowered his weapon and knocked gently. "Lyria, you okay?" The crying stopped, but he heard rapid breathing. "I'm right outside if you need anything," he said through the door. Silence. Then, so quietly he almost missed it, a small voice said, "Thank you." The first words she had spoken to him. Hyan-woo went back downstairs, but he didn't sleep. He sat in the chair by the window, rifle across his lap, watching the darkness outside. He had been given a mission. Protect this girl. Keep her alive. It should have been simple, but something about her reminded him why he became a soldier in the first place. Before the war turned into endless killing. Before he lost everyone who mattered. He had joined to protect people. Maybe he could remember how to do that. Outside, the rain continued falling on New Bizen. Somewhere in the darkness, people who wanted Lyria dead were planning their next move. Let them come, Hyan-woo thought. He had survived the worst war the galaxy had ever seen. He could handle anything that came for this girl. He had to. Dawn came slowly to the colony. Hyan-woo watched the sun rise over the damaged buildings that still showed scars from the war. New Bizen was rebuilding, just like everyone else. Behind him, he heard soft footsteps on the stairs. Lyi stood at the bottom, still in her oversized clothes, still looking scared. But she was looking at him directly now. "Good morning," Hyan-woo said. She nodded slightly. Progress. This was going to be a long assignment, he realized. But for the first time in months, Hyan-woo felt something other than emptiness. He felt purpose. 2 weeks passed in the safe house. Hyan-woo kept his routine strict and simple. Wake up at dawn. Check security. Make breakfast. Watch the perimeter. The days blended together, but slowly, things began to change. Lyria started eating meals in the kitchen instead of hiding in her room. She still didn't talk much, but she would sit at the table while Hyan-woo cooked. Sometimes he caught her watching him with those strange black eyes, like she was trying to understand him. "You don't have to stare," Hyan-woo said one morning, flipping eggs in a pan. "If you have questions, just ask." "Why do humans cook their food?" Lyria asked quietly. Her voice was soft and had a musical quality to it. "Makes it taste better. Safer too." He slid the eggs onto a plate. "What do Velkari eat?" "Raw nutrients. We don't need heat." She paused. "But your food smells good." Hyan-woo smiled slightly. It was the first time she had said anything positive. "Want to try some?" She nodded. That became their new routine. Breakfast together. Lyria asking small questions. Hyan-woo giving simple answers. It wasn't much, but it was something. On the 16th day, Corporal Ji-won Kim stopped by with supplies. She was an old friend from Hyan-woo's unit, one of the few who survived the war. "How's the babysitting job?" Ji-won asked, carrying boxes into the kitchen. "She's not a baby," Hyan-woo said, a bit sharper than he intended. Ji-won raised her eyebrows. "Getting attached, Sergeant?" "Just doing my job." "Sure." Ji-won grinned. "Well, I brought extra rations. Also, there's talk in town. Some mercs were asking about Velkari refugees. Might be nothing." "Oh, might be something," Hyan-woo muttered. "I'll double the security." After Ji-won left, Hyan-woo found Lyria standing at the top of the stairs. She had been listening. "Are they coming for me?" she asked. Hyan-woo considered lying, but decided against it. "Maybe, but they won't get through me. You can't fight everyone. Watch me." Something changed in her expression. Not quite a smile, but close. "Humans are strange. You act like you can win against anything. We usually do, Hyan-woo said. Come on. If there's trouble coming, you need to know how to defend yourself. He took her to the basement and showed her the basics. How to stand. How to punch. How to use her smaller size as an advantage. Lyria learned fast, frighteningly fast. Your species must have good reflexes, Hyan-woo commented. We can read intentions, Lyria explained. Through telepathy. I can feel what you're about to do before you do it. That's actually useful. He demonstrated a defensive move. Try to block this. She did, perfectly, moving just before his hand came forward. They trained for an hour before Lyria got tired. Hyan-woo noticed she seemed more relaxed afterward, like the physical activity helped her stress. That night, the nightmares came back. Hyan-woo was checking security feeds when he heard Lyria scream. Not just a cry this time, but a real scream of terror. He ran upstairs and burst through her door. Lyria was sitting up in bed, eyes wide, breathing hard. But something was wrong. Hyan-woo felt a pressure in his head, like someone pushing against his skull from the inside. Then he saw them. Memories that weren't his. Fire. Buildings burning. People running. Valkyrie civilians being gunned down by soldiers in black armor. A woman who looked like an older version of Lyria, reaching out, screaming her name before. The vision stopped. Hyan-woo stumbled backward, grabbing his head. I'm sorry, Lyria gasped. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It's okay, Hyan-woo managed to say, though his head was pounding. It's okay. You were having a nightmare. You saw it. You saw what happened to them. Hyan-woo sat down on the floor, his back against the wall. His hands were shaking. He had seen plenty of death during the war, but experiencing someone else's trauma like that was different. More personal. Your mother? He asked quietly. Lyria nodded, tears running down her blue cheeks. They killed everyone. Said my family was helping the enemy. But we weren't. We were just living. I know, Hyan-woo said. He knew exactly what that felt like. During the siege of Arcturus, I lost my whole squad. 15 people. We were defending an evacuation point. I was the only one who made it out. Why do you still fight? Lyria asked. After losing everyone? Hyan-woo had asked himself that question 1,000 times. Because if I stop, they died for nothing. And because maybe I can protect someone else. Maybe I can make it mean something. They sat in silence for a while. Two survivors of the same war, sharing the same darkness. You fight like you want to die, Lyria said suddenly. The words hit Hyan-woo harder than he expected. What? When you train. When you check security. You move like death doesn't scare you. Like you're looking for it. She was right. Hyan-woo knew she was right. Part of him did want to die. To stop carrying the weight of all those ghosts. Maybe, he admitted. But not today. Today I have a job to do. Protecting me. Protecting me. Lyria wiped her eyes. I don't want you to die for me. Then I'll live for both of us, Hyan-woo said. How's that? She almost smiled. Humans really are strange. The next morning, Private Dong-ha Lee arrived with a supply delivery. He was young, barely 20, and nervous about everything. Sergeant Park, Dong-ha said, unloading crates. I heard something in town. There's a bounty for Valkyrie telepaths. Big money. Hyan-woo felt his stomach drop. How big? Enough to buy a ship. Maybe more. That meant serious players. Not just random extremists. Professional killers. Thanks for the warning, Hyan-woo said. After Dong-ha left, Hyan-woo doubled all security measures. He slept in shifts, never more than 2 hours at a time. He taught Lyria the emergency protocols. Where to hide. How to signal for help. You really think they'll come? she asked. I know they will, Hyanwu said. But we'll be ready. 3 days later, they came. Hyanwu woke to the sound of his perimeter alarm. 3 contacts approaching from the east, moving fast and tactical. Lyria! He shouted. Safe room, now. She ran without questioning. Hyanwu grabbed his rifle and checked the security feed. 3 figures in combat armor, carrying military-grade weapons, mercenaries. They cut through his outer fence like it was nothing. Hyanwu smiled grimly. They had no idea what they were walking into. He'd been a soldier in the Galactic War. He'd fought aliens, machines, and everything in between. 3 mercs were nothing. He hit the lights, plunging the compound into darkness. Then he moved. The first mercenary didn't even see Hyanwu coming. One moment the merc was checking his scanner. The next moment Hyanwu's knife was in his throat. The soldier dropped silently. The second one turned, raising his weapon. Hyanwu was faster. 2 shots, center mass. The merc fell backward into the dirt. The third one was smarter. He threw a flashbang and retreated toward the fence. Hyanwu covered his eyes just in time, but the noise was deafening. By the time his vision cleared, the third merc was gone. Hyanwu didn't chase. Never leave the objective undefended. He checked the bodies quickly, looking for information. No identification, but their gear was expensive. Professional killers, just like Dongho warned. He went back inside and found Lyria in the safe room, pressed against the wall, eyes wide. It's over, Hyanwu said. You're safe. But he knew this was just the beginning. 1 got away. More would come. The next morning, Hyanwu called Commander Taesung. We need to relocate, Hyanwu said. They found us once. They'll find us again. Negative, Taesung replied. That safe house has the best security on the colony. Everywhere else is more vulnerable. Then I need backup. I'll send G1 to help with supplies and intel. But you're the best protection the girl has. Park, don't forget that. G1 arrived that afternoon with new equipment and bad news. Intelligence thinks there's a whole network looking for Velkari telepaths, she explained. Not just random bounty hunters. Organized groups. They want to use them as weapons or sell them to the highest bidder. How many are after Lyria specifically? Hyanwu asked. Hard to say. But she's powerful, even for a Velkari. That makes her valuable. G1 glanced at Lyria, who was sitting quietly in the corner. How's she holding up? Better than expected, Hyanwu said. She's strong. Over the next few weeks, Hyanwu trained Lyria harder. Not just self-defense, but survival skills. How to read terrain. How to move quietly. How to stay hidden. Why are you teaching me all this? Lyria asked one day during a break. Because I might not always be there, Hyanwu said honestly. And you need to be able to survive on your own. You're planning to leave? No, but in combat, anything can happen. He looked at her seriously. If something happens to me, you run. You hide, you survive. Promise me. Lyria was quiet for a moment. I promise. But only if you promise to try not to die. Deal. As the days passed, Lyria began to open up more. She told Hyanwu about her home planet, about Velkari culture, about her family. Hyanwu listened and shared his own stories. About growing up on Earth, about joining the military, about the friends he lost. Do you miss them? Lyria asked. Every day, Hyanwu admitted. But it gets easier to carry, especially when you have something to focus on. Like protecting me? Like protecting you. 6 weeks into the assignment, Hyanwu made a decision that went against protocol. He took Lyria to the colony market. Is this safe? She asked, looking nervously at the crowds. Probably not, Hyanwu admitted. But you've been locked in that house for weeks. You deserve to see the world isn't all danger. They walked through the market together. Hyun-woo kept his hand near his concealed pistol, his eyes constantly scanning for threats. But Lyria was smiling for the first time since he met her. She stopped at a music stall where someone was playing a strange stringed instrument. The sound was beautiful, haunting. "We had music like this on my world," she said quietly. "My mother used to sing." Hyun-woo bought her a small music player from the vendor. "So you can remember the good parts." Lyria looked up at him, and for a moment she looked like a normal kid instead of a traumatized refugee. "Thank you, Appa." Hyun-woo blinked. Appa was a Korean term, something a younger sister might call an older brother. She must have learned it from listening to him talk with Ji-won. "You're welcome," he said, his voice softer than usual. That's when the second attack came. Hyun-woo felt it before he saw it. Years of combat instinct screaming danger. He grabbed Lyria and pulled her down, just as a plasma bolt scorched the air where her head had been. The market erupted into chaos. People screaming, running in all directions. "Stay low," Hyun-woo shouted, drawing his pistol. He saw them. 4 attackers this time, spreading out to surround them. These weren't random mercs. They moved like military. Hyun-woo returned fire, dropping one immediately. The others took cover behind market stalls. Civilians were everywhere, making it impossible to shoot freely. "Lyria, run toward the east exit," Hyun-woo ordered. But before she could move, one of the attackers rushed forward with a shock weapon. Hyun-woo stepped between them, taking the hit meant for Lyria. Pain exploded through his body. Every muscle locked up as electricity coursed through him. He dropped to one knee, struggling to hold onto his weapon. The attacker raised his weapon again, aiming at Lyria. Then something strange happened. Lyria's eyes went completely black, darker than Hyun-woo had ever seen. She raised her hand toward the attacker, and the man suddenly grabbed his head and screamed. He collapsed, unconscious. The other 2 attackers hesitated. That hesitation cost them. Hyun-woo forced himself up and fired. 2 more down. The 4th attacker ran. Hyun-woo grabbed Lyria's hand. "Move, now!" They ran through the panicked market, Hyun-woo's body still shaking from the shock. He could feel blood running down his side where he'd been grazed by a plasma bolt. They made it back to the safe house. Ji-won was already there, having heard the commotion. "What happened?" she demanded. "Ambush," Hyun-woo said, collapsing into a chair. 4 attackers. Military-grade equipment. "You're bleeding," Lyria said, her voice shaking. "I'm fine." "You're not fine." Lyria's eyes were full of tears. "You almost died protecting me." Ji-won started treating his wounds while Hyun-woo tried to calm Lyria down. "This is my job," he said. "I knew the risks." "I don't want this to be your job anymore," Lyria said. "I don't want you to die for me." "Then help me keep us both alive," Hyun-woo said, wincing as Ji-won sealed the wound. "What you did back there, with your telepathy. Can you do it again?" Lyria nodded slowly. "I can feel hostile intent. When someone wants to hurt me, it's like a dark cloud in my mind. I can push back against it." "Good," Hyun-woo said. "That makes you a weapon they didn't expect. We can use that." That night, after Ji-won left, Lyria helped Hyun-woo change his bandages. Her hands were gentle, careful. "My mother used to heal people," she said quietly. "Valkyrie can share pain, make it less. Would you like me to try?" "You don't have to. I want to." She placed her hand on his shoulder. Hyun-woo felt a warm sensation spread through his body. The pain didn't disappear, but it became manageable, distant. "Thank you," he said. "You saved my life today," Lyria said. "Again. How many times will you do that?" "As many times as it takes," Hyun-woo answered without hesitation. Lyria looked at him with those deep black eyes. Why? Why do you care so much? Haiyan Wu thought about his lost squad, about all the people he couldn't save during the war, about the emptiness he felt every day since. Because you remind me why I became a soldier, he said finally. Not to destroy, to protect. You gave me that back. Lyria smiled, a real smile this time. Then we protect each other, Appa. Both of us. Both of us, Haiyan Wu agreed. Outside, the colony lights flickered in the darkness. Somewhere out there, more threats were coming. But for the first time in months, Haiyan Wu didn't face them alone. Captain Sora Han arrived at the safe house 3 days after the market attack. She was intelligent, sharp-eyed, and serious, carrying classified data that made Haiyan Wu's blood run cold. We found them, Sora said, spreading holographic images across the table. The group targeting Velkari refugees. They call themselves the Purifiers. Extremist faction. Believes telepaths are dangerous to galactic security. Where? Haiyan Wu demanded. Abandoned mining station, 40 kilometers north. Intelligence suggests they're holding at least 6 other Velkari children. Sora looked at Lyria, who had gone pale. They're planning something big. We need to move now. You mean you need to move, Haiyan Wu corrected. Send a strike team. I stay here with Lyria. That's the problem, Sora said. The facility has telepathic dampeners. Our people can't navigate it without triggering alarms. But Lyria can sense hostile intent, feel where enemies are even through interference. Absolutely not, Haiyan Wu said immediately. She's not going into a combat zone. There are children dying there, Lyria said quietly. Everyone turned to look at her. Children like me. If I can help save them, I have to try. Lyria, you don't understand what you're asking, Haiyan Wu said. Combat isn't like training. It's chaos. It's death. I can't protect you if we're in the middle of a firefight. You taught me to survive, Lyria said, meeting his eyes. You taught me to fight. Was that all for nothing? Haiyan Wu wanted to argue, but he saw the determination in her face. She wasn't the terrified girl he met 2 months ago. She had changed, grown stronger. If she comes, Haiyan Wu said to Sora, I lead the team. My conditions, my call. Sora nodded. Already approved. You'll have G1 Dongha and 4 other veterans. Small team. Fast insertion. When do we move? Dawn tomorrow. That night, Haiyan Wu couldn't sleep. He checked his weapons 3 times. Made sure Lyria had proper armor that fit her smaller frame. Went over the mission plan until he memorized every detail. Lyria found him in the armory at midnight. Can't sleep either? She asked. Just preparing, Haiyan Wu said. You should rest. Tomorrow will be hard. I'm scared, Lyria admitted. Not of the mission. I'm scared I'll see him. See who? Warlord Krell. He led the attack on my colony. He's the one who ordered my family killed. Her voice shook with anger and fear. Intelligence says he runs the Purifiers. Haiyan Wu put down the rifle he was cleaning. If we see him, you stay behind me. Understand? Revenge isn't worth dying for. Is that what you tell yourself? Lyria asked. About the people who killed your squad. Direct hit. Haiyan Wu looked away. That's different. No, it's not, Lyria said. We both carry ghosts. But tomorrow, maybe we can put some of them to rest. Dawn came too quickly. The strike team assembled outside the safe house. G1 checked her gear with practiced efficiency. Dongha looked nervous but determined. The other 4 veterans were calm, professional. Listen up, Haiyan Wu addressed the team. Our primary objective is extracting the Velkari children. Secondary objective is taking down Warlord Krell and his command structure. Lyria will guide us through the facility using her abilities, but she is not combat personnel. If shooting starts, she gets behind cover. Clear? Clear, the team responded. They moved out in 2 vehicles, driving north through the wasteland. The mining station appeared on the horizon, just as the sun fully rose. It was a sprawling complex of rusted metal and broken machines. Looks abandoned, Dongha commented. That's what they want you to think, Ji-won said, checking her scanner. I'm reading power signatures. Life signs. They're definitely home. Hyun-woo turned to Lyria. What do you sense? She closed her eyes, concentrating. Hostile intent. Lots of it. And fear. The children are on the lower levels, scared, hurting. Then let's go get them. They entered through a maintenance tunnel, moving quietly through the darkness. Lyria led the way, somehow knowing which paths were safe and which had enemies waiting. Left corridor, she whispered. 3 guards, armed. Hyun-woo signaled the team. They moved like shadows, taking out the guards before they could raise an alarm. Quick, silent, efficient. They descended deeper into the facility. The air grew colder, stale. Hyun-woo saw evidence of the purifiers everywhere. Propaganda posters showing telepaths as monsters. Weapons stockpiles. Training areas. They're preparing for something bigger than kidnapping, Ji-won observed. This is a military operation. They found the children in a sealed chamber on the 3rd sublevel. 6 young Valkyrie, all looking terrified and malnourished. When they saw Lyria, hope flickered in their eyes. It's okay, Lyria told them in the Valkyrie language. We're taking you home. Ji-won, Dongha. Get them to the extraction point, Hyun-woo ordered. Rest of us are going after Krell. Sir, we should all pull back, one of the veterans said. Negative. If we leave him alive, he'll just do this again. Hyun-woo looked at Lyria. You don't have to come. You saved those kids. That's enough. He killed my family, Lyria said firmly. I'm coming. They split up. Ji-won and Dongha escorted the children toward the surface while Hyun-woo's team went deeper. The facility's command center was in the lowest level. Hyun-woo could hear voices ahead, the sound of people moving equipment. Central chamber, Lyria whispered. Krell is there. I can feel his intent. It's like darkness, like drowning. When the shooting starts, you get to cover, Hyun-woo reminded her. Promise me, I promise. They breached the command center with flashbangs and overwhelming fire. The purifiers were caught off guard. Hyun-woo's team moved with lethal precision, trained soldiers who knew their work. But the purifiers had numbers. The firefight turned into chaos. Hyun-woo saw Warlord Krell cross the chamber. He was massive, wearing heavy armor, directing his forces like a general. When Krell saw Lyria, his eyes widened with recognition. The telepath! He roared, "Take her alive!" Suddenly, Hyun-woo's team was outnumbered and surrounded. Purifiers poured in from side corridors. Energy weapons lit up the darkness. Fall back! Hyun-woo shouted. One of his veterans went down, hit by plasma fire. Then another. They were getting overwhelmed. Dongha's voice crackled over the radio. We've got company topside. They're cutting off our escape route. How many? Hyun-woo demanded while returning fire. Too many. We can't hold them and protect the kids. Hyun-woo saw Ji-won's position on his tactical display. She and Dongha were trapped between the children and a full squad of purifiers. Dongha, fall back to secondary extraction, Hyun-woo ordered. Sir, that route is, I know. Do it anyway. Then he heard the explosion. Felt the facility shake. Dong, report. Static. Finally, Dongha's voice came through, weak and pained. Secondary route is open. The kids are through. I'm hit bad, sir. Can't move. Tell Gi-1. Tell her I'm sorry. Hang on, we're coming for you. Negative. Facility is rigged. They're going to blow it. Get out. That's an order from a dying man, sir. Get out. Hyan-Woo felt his heart break. Another soldier lost. Another ghost to carry. Lyria, we need to go. He shouted, but Lyria wasn't listening. Her eyes had gone completely black. She was staring at Krell with pure rage. You killed them, she said, her voice echoing with unnatural power. You killed my mother, my father, my brother. Lyria, no! Hyan-Woo reached for her. She raised both hands. Every purifier in the chamber suddenly grabbed their heads and screamed. Hyan-Woo felt the telepathic shockwave wash over him, but it passed through him harmlessly. She was targeting only hostile intent. Dozens of purifiers dropped unconscious. Even Krell fell to one knee, struggling against her mental assault, but the effort was draining her. Blood ran from her nose. She swayed on her feet. Hyan-Woo grabbed her. Time to go, now. They ran through collapsing corridors. Behind them, the facility was self-destructing. Explosions rocked the structure. Metal screamed and tore. They burst out into daylight, just as the mining station collapsed in on itself. Buried forever, along with Warlord Krell and his purifiers. G1 was waiting with the transport and the rescued children. Her face was tight with grief. Dongha? Hyan-Woo asked, though he already knew. Ji-Won shook her head. Hyan-Woo looked at the 6 young Velkari they had saved. At Lyria, exhausted but alive. Worth it, he told himself. It had to be worth it, but the cost never stopped hurting. 3 months passed like slow rain. The 6 rescued Velkari children were relocated to a sanctuary on the other side of the colony. Safe, protected, learning to be children again instead of prisoners. Hyan-Woo visited Dongha's memorial every week. A simple stone marker in the military cemetery with hundreds of others. So many dead. So many ghosts. He wasn't alone in his visits. Lyria always came with him. Do you think he knew? She asked one day, placing flowers at the stone. That he saved those children? That it mattered? He knew, Hyan-Woo said. Soldiers always know when it matters. The colony was changing. Slowly rebuilding. The scars of war were still visible everywhere, but people were trying. Markets reopened. Ships came and went. Life continued. Hyan-Woo's official protection assignment ended 2 weeks after the raid. Commander Tae-Sung called him into the office. You did good work, Park, the commander said. The Galactic Council is impressed. They're offering you a promotion and transfer back to Earth. Command position. Desk work, comfortable. Hyan-Woo should have been happy. A chance to go home. To rest. To stop fighting. What about Lyria? He asked. The council wants her as an ambassador, Tae-Sung explained. Bridge between humanity and the Velkari people. She'd be under diplomatic protection. That's not the same as real protection. No, Tae-Sung agreed. But she's not your responsibility anymore. The assignment is complete. Hyan-Woo left the office feeling hollow. He had done his job. Kept her alive. It should have been enough, but it didn't feel like enough. He found Lyria at the safe house, teaching the younger Velkari children how to defend themselves. She had taken to it naturally, using everything Hyan-Woo taught her. Watch your stance, she told a small boy. Balance is everything. My appa taught me that. The children adored her. She was their hero. The one who came back for them. When the lesson ended, Lyria approached Hyan-Woo. She could read his expression easily now. You're leaving, she said. Not a question. They're sending me back to Earth. Promotion. Lyria nodded slowly. That's good. You deserve to go home. What about you? The council wants me to be an ambassador. They say I can help build peace between our peoples. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. I said yes. They stood in silence. So much had changed in 3 months. Lyria was stronger now, confident. She didn't need him anymore. That should have made him happy. When do you leave? Lyria asked. Next week. Transport's already scheduled. Then we should make the most of the time we have left. That week was strange. They fell back into their old routine. Training in the morning. Meals together. Quiet conversations in the evening. But everything felt temporary now. Like sand slipping through fingers. G-1 stopped by on the 5th day. Heard you're heading back to Earth, she said, sitting down with coffee. About time. You've done enough fighting for 10 lifetimes. Feels wrong, though, Hyan-Woo admitted. Leaving because of her? G1 glanced at Lyria, who was outside with the children. You got attached. Happens to the best of us. She doesn't need me anymore. Maybe not, G1 said. But maybe you still need her. I've known you a long time, Hyan-Woo. Haven't seen you this alive since before the war. That night, Captain Sora visited with new information. The Galactic Council approved a new initiative, she explained. Joint Terran Valkyrie Protection Unit. Specialized team to safeguard refugees and telepaths throughout the galaxy. They want Lyria as the symbolic head, the bridge between species. That's good, Hyan-Woo said. She'd be good at it. They want to offer you command of the military side, Sora continued. Lead the protection unit. Train the soldiers. Coordinate operations. Hyan-Woo blinked. Why me? Because you've already proven you can do it. You protected the most valuable telepath in the galaxy for 3 months against professional killers. You raided a fortified base and saved 6 children. You're the logical choice. Sora paused. Also, Lyria specifically requested you. Said she wouldn't take the ambassador position unless you led her security. She did? Don't sound so surprised. That girl trusts you more than anyone. After Sora left, Hyan-Woo found Lyria on the roof of the safe house, looking at the stars. You requested me for the protection unit, he said, sitting beside her. Was I not supposed to? Lyria asked innocently. You were supposed to let me make my own choice. You were going to leave because you thought I didn't need you anymore, Lyria said. That's stupid. I'll always need you, Appa. Not because I can't survive alone. Because I don't want to. The work will be dangerous, Hyan-Woo warned. More fights. More missions. Maybe more people like Dongha. I know, Lyria said quietly. But we'll face it together. Both of us. Like you promised. Hyan-Woo thought about Earth. About the quiet desk job. About finally resting. Then he thought about Lyria, about the rescued children, about all the people still out there who needed protection. Both of us, he agreed. Lyria smiled, the real smile that lit up her whole face. So you'll stay? I'll stay. She hugged him suddenly, fiercely. Hyan-Woo hugged back, this small alien girl who had given him purpose again. Thank you, she whispered. For everything? Thank you, Hyan-Woo replied, for reminding me what I'm fighting for. The next week, instead of boarding a transport to Earth, Hyan-Woo stood in Commander Taesung's office again. You're sure about this? The commander asked. Earth was offering you a good life, safe, peaceful. I'm sure, Hyan-Woo said. This is where I'm needed. Taesung smiled slightly. The war changed all of us. Some of us learned to destroy. Some of us learned to protect. You figured out which one matters more. Yes, sir. Then welcome to the Joint Protection Initiative, Commander Park. Commander. Not Sergeant anymore. A real responsibility. Hyan-Woo assembled his new team over the following month. Veterans who wanted to do something good. Young soldiers looking for purpose. Ji-won signed on immediately. Someone has to keep you from doing anything stupid, she said. They trained together. Learned to work with Valkyrie telepaths. Studied new threats. Built something new from the ashes of war. 3 months after the raid, they held a memorial service for all those lost in the Purifier attack. Dongha's name was carved in stone, along with dozens of others. Hyan-woo and Lyria stood before the memorial together. Do you think we're doing enough? Lyria asked. To honor them? We're trying, Hyan-woo said. That's all anyone can do. Try to make their sacrifice mean something. Lyria placed a flower at Dongha's name. Hyan-woo placed flowers for his lost squad. So many names. So many ghosts. But they didn't feel as heavy anymore. We protect each other now, Lyria said, taking his hand. All of us. That's what they would want. Yes, Hyan-woo agreed. That's what they would want. They walked away from the memorial together. Behind them, the names of the dead stood silent. Ahead, the sun was rising over New Bizen, warm and bright. The war was over. The dying was done. Now came the harder part. Living, protecting, building something worth fighting. For Hyan-woo had spent so long being a weapon. Learning to destroy. Perfecting the art of combat. But Lyria taught him something the war never could. That humanity's greatest strength wasn't the ability to fight. It was the ability to care. To protect. To sacrifice everything for someone who couldn't protect themselves. That was the real power humans brought to the galaxy. Not their weapons, or their tactics, or their unbreakable will in battle. Their capacity to love something more than themselves. 6 months later, Commander Tae-sung reviewed reports from the Joint Protection Initiative. 17 successful rescue operations. 43 refugees protected. 2 terrorist cells dismantled. On his desk was a photo of the team. Hyan-woo in the center, serious as always. Lyria beside him smiling. Ji-won making a silly face. 12 others, all looking ready for whatever came next. How are they doing? Captain Sora asked, reviewing the same reports. Better than expected, Tae-sung admitted. Park was the right choice. The team follows him without question. And the girl. She's remarkable. Natural leader. Think they can handle what's coming? If anyone can, it's them. Tae-sung looked at the photo again. Humanity spent the war proving we could fight. Now we're proving we can protect. Maybe that's what the galaxy really needed from us all along. Sora nodded. The Valkyrie Council sent a formal thank you. First time they've acknowledged any human military operation positively. Things are changing, Tae-sung said. Slowly, but they're changing. Out in the field, Hyan-woo and his team prepared for their next mission. More refugees needed rescue. More children needed protection. The work never ended, but for the first time since the war, Hyan-woo didn't mind. He had found his purpose again. Not in destroying enemies, but in protecting innocence. Not in death, but in life. Ready? Lyria asked, checking her equipment. Always, Hyan-woo replied. Together, they walked toward the transport. Toward the next mission. Toward whatever the galaxy threw at them. 2 survivors of the same war. 2 protectors of the same peace. 1 human. 1 alien. Both refusing to let the darkness win. That was humanity's gift to the galaxy. Not destruction. Not conquest. A stubborn refusal to stop caring. To stop protecting. To stop fighting for those who couldn't fight. For themselves. That was what made them different. That was what made them strong. The transport lifted off, carrying them toward the stars. Behind them, New Bizen continued rebuilding. Ahead, the galaxy waited. And they would be ready.